Hi, I'm Jessica Lohman from Ethical Brand Marketing. And today I want to talk to you about laziness and how lazy people want to shop consciously too, because I am lazy. I picked that trigger word because because I know that I'm not alone, and I know it will spark maybe a little bit of, I don't know, maybe some people will feel insulted, but please do not consider this to be insulting because, I mean, being inconvenienced is a pain, and nobody in this day and age wants to be inconvenienced. So just treat it as such. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but the other day I published a blog post, and it was called, hold on, Even Lazy People Want to Shop Consciously. Because it's true. If you look at the stats, the majority of the people will say that they definitely want to buy ethically produced products. But at the end of the day, when they actually do it, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. I'm sorry. When they actually do it, they end up just buying what they're used to buying. They don't end up doing their research, and that's just what happens. So I wrote this blog post, and when you shop consciously, like, think about what you have to do to be able to do that. Okay, you have to. At least for me, I'm just going to speak for me. I have to make sure it's vegan. I have to make sure it's cruelty free. I have to make sure it's free of toxins, parabens, perfumes, alcohol, and stuff I can't pronounce. And I have to read and understand and trust the labels, because labels are misleading. And, let's take Leaping Bunny versus we don't support animal testing. Okay. The Leaping Bunny is proof. Okay. The statement, we don't support animal testing, does not necessarily mean that they don't test on animals. It's basically their greenwashing statement to say that we do test on animals, but we don't want you to know about it. Oh, that hurts. Okay. So when you read something like, we don't support animal testing, hi there, Gayatri, hi. Thanks for joining me. It's so late. She's in Australia. It's like, I think like 10 o'clock her time at night. Anyway, so when you read that statement, we don't support animal testing, it doesn't mean that they don't do it. Okay. So when I read that, then I have to do more research to make sure that they do not animal test or test on animals. Right. And in this blog post, I wrote 3 things for ethical brands to do, simple things to do that they can help lazy people shop consciously. Okay. One thing is to spread awareness. And a lot of people already do that, right? And one thing you can do is share your story about why you're in the business you're in, and what your industry normally does, how they normally produce their products, and what you're doing differently. Okay. A lot of people already do this. A lot of ethical brand owners already do this. But you got to keep on doing it. You can't just do it once, post it on Facebook, and be done with it, because so many people are not reading that. Another thing is, don't just tell, but show. In that, you can like create a video or video series and show your production process from A to B, or from A to Z, like from start to finish. And you could do it in a series, because, a lot of people have a very short attention span. And so you can, show how you buy your materials, where you buy your materials. That could be one video. Another one could be how you nurture and harvest your ingredients. And another could be who makes your products. Show their faces. Show how you have improved their lives. And like of your employees and the people who actually are the ones sitting there sewing your clothing. People love these kind of stories because they really want to feel good about buying from you. Okay. And show how you're making these changes, and what your labels mean. And another thing is to make their life easier. And I'm all about marketing strategy. So I do talk about in my third thing to make their life easier is to create a marketing strategy so that you find them before they have to find you. Okay. And answer their questions before they have to ask them. And if you do develop a marketing strategy, you will know who you're talking to. You'll know how to reach them. You'll know how to talk to them and how to speak their language. And basically, you'll make their life easier because you will lessen the amount of time they have to spend doing their research. I want to talk to you just a little bit about leather. Today I'm sporting my vegan leather jacket. I love this jacket. Just want to show you. I love this jacket. And I used to be hell-bent on leather. I love going to rock concerts, and I always have and always will continue to go to rock concerts. And so leather was a big part, not of my life, but it's a big part of that scene, right? So I had my leather jackets. I used to buy leather shoes and leather purses and everything. Leather isn't a lot of stuff. But when people find out how leather is made, then that's when they think, ooh, maybe I shouldn't buy leather, right? Because there are so many alternatives. And I actually have had conversations with friends who don't want to hear it. They just don't want to know that cows are being skinned alive. I'm going to start crying, so I better, be careful here. Or how young boys have to work knee deep in a toxic blue chemical to further produce the skins of the cows. It's horrifying. I will put some links in the comments after this video if you want to learn about it. If you need some help in learning how to buy vegan leather, I will be totally happy. Somebody asked me this morning, because I posted on my private Facebook page, and she asked me this morning if I could tell her more. So I was like, thank you. Yes, I will. I'm be so glad. But that's what happens. People will say they want to shop consciously, but then do they really do? It's so hard to change somebody's mindset on how to shop or travel. So people are becoming more aware of shopping consciously and more aware of the horrifying industry practices. And thank goodness for social media, because social media is allowing this awareness to happen. And we're sharing this stuff and telling people, hey, look at this. Do you want to support this industry? So, I think it's great that the awareness is rising. I think that's wonderful, but it's still very hard to change people's mindset. One thing I did go around to my I'm in a few Facebook groups, and I asked them about this topic, and some comments were so interesting. A lot of people said, okay, well, we could definitely help conscious consumers with ethical brand directories, and there are several around, and I know of a handful, and each country has their own directory, but those are great because then you could do like one-stop shopping. You could shop for your clothes, you should shop for your skincare products, you could shop for your shoes, and even services. So I think those directories are wonderful, but you have to get the people to go to the directories too. So there is marketing involved in that as well. Because people are just used to going to Amazon, right? Or they're used to going to the mall. And in the mall, you're not going to find most of this stuff. And one thing that somebody said, I love this. Sorry, I'm reading, so I'm not looking directly at you. She mentioned that she was reading a magazine that featured sustainable shopping, sustainable fashion, sorry. And huge feature on this article. But then the rest of the magazine was business as usual, right? The same non-ethical brand advertisements, the same articles about mass production. Well, I mean, it wasn't about mass production, but the rest of the magazine was non-ethical. So it's also a mindset of the media, because they look at the dollar signs, the euro signs, they look at money, and that's what they're after. They want to get more money. And where is the money? The money's in the mass production. So, there is a hard balance there. If we could get the media to even if it was just like one whole issue, not just one feature article, but one whole issue of good stuff, and maybe say, okay, well, we're not gonna, we're gonna not do advertising unless the ethical brands want to, but if they don't, maybe this issue will just be kind of charity work. I don't know, just an idea, but the media does kind of have to help us out too. Because the industries follow the demand. And if the demand is for cheap and fast and, cheap and fast, basically, right? If that's where the demand is, that's what they're going to do. But if more people are aware about it and the demand rises for ethical stuff, then the industry is going to have to change. Remember the music industry back then, when the iPod came out and Napster came out? Remember that? The industry, the record labels had to change the way they promoted music. The industry had to change because the demand changed, because all of a sudden people had music in their hands and they were like, I want to be able to buy a song for, whatever, $1, and so the industries had to change. They couldn't do what they used to be doing anymore. So if we are able to change the way people shop and more people shop consciously, then the industries will start to change, right? It's common sense. I want to tell you one person, Isma, she is a co-founder of Clo. This was really interesting. I'm just going to quote her right now. She said, "Such a good point of view. I don't think that people are bad." No, they're not. I did a survey and around 77% of people said that they were interested in buying eco and ethical fashion, while around 76% never do it. Right? That's what I said earlier. It's so true. The problem is that due to lack of transparency from brands, people just don't know. I think it's why we really need to give more awareness to this industry by developing tools, ideas, and help the young sustainable brands to survive and play in the same category with the non-eco ones. I am going to right now, hold on. I am going to put in a comment right now, because she had this GIF and I just want to show it because it was just so funny. Okay, so for those of you looking at the replay, definitely look at this GIF because you're going to laugh. I mean, it's, on one hand, it's kind of sad, and on the other hand, it's just really amusing because she did it in a wonderful, entertaining way. And Vicki Smith, the founder of Earth Changers, she wrote, "I'd love to see ecosia.org." Let me just explain that. Ecosia.org is like Lilo.org. It's a search engine. And I use Lilo.org. I didn't know for Ecosia until she mentioned it, so I am going to have to check it out. But she mentioned that because what you could do is you could search, and for every search that you do, money goes to charity. So that's just like better than Google, right? But they use a Google API. So it is Google in the background, but you're doing good with your searches. So I will put the links in the comments afterwards as well. So definitely default, don't Google anymore. Go to Ecosia or Lilo.org and put your searches towards a good cause. Anyway, she wrote, "I'd love to see Ecosia.org, not just use the Google API, but deliver an ethical business algorithm layer preference on top. And I'd love to see a successful social media for the ethically minded. And this is a wonderful idea. I mean, if companies like this, if they were able to somehow rank the econess, I don't know what, ethicalness of a company, if that could happen and put those companies on top or on the first page, that would be a great help. So I asked her to contact the company, and I'm going to do the same with Lilo.org and just see where we get, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, but the more people who demand this kind of activity, the more change will happen. And did I even tell you? Oh no, I forgot to tell you. Anyway, I wanted to tell you in the beginning to stick around for the end, because I do have a good free marketing support option for you guys. I have an email list, and I will put the link to subscribe to my list. You'll get a free ebook on how to create your marketing strategy, and you'll get marketing tips on a regular basis. It's a newsletter with marketing tips on how to market your ethical brand. But what I also decided to do was to make a more intimate space to help you market your ethical brand. So, and I was thinking about, what should I do? Should I use Facebook? Because, everybody is on Facebook, but things are starting to move, in my very honest opinion, in a little bit of an unethical direction. And with all the data collected, people are starting to actually think about moving away from Facebook. But for the time being, they're still on there. It's easy, it's convenient. And since we're talking about laziness, I don't want to inconvenience somebody and have them, have to log on to my website to be able to provide this support. So what I did was I just set up a private Facebook private Facebook group, and it's solely to help you market your ethical brand. And it's I called it the Change Makers Club, because that's what you guys are. Yeah. And it's an exclusive club for the sole purpose of providing marketing support. And it's a safe space for you to connect with other like-minders, other change makers, and to share your thoughts, ask your questions, whatever. Okay. I know that you're probably in a ton of groups, but this is solely for marketing your ethical brand. So I really do want to help you there. And I think groups tend to be more open than a business Facebook page, because I've asked many times, what are your questions on my Facebook page? And usually people are kind of like apprehensive to even comment, because they don't want the whole world to know. So this is a safe space for ethical brand owners, and I'd love to come and have you join. So here's the link to join. And there it is. I just put it in the comments. So I hope to see you there. If it takes a while, because I will include you manually, and it might take a while to get you in, because I do sleep and I do have a family. So, and there might be a time change there. So, don't worry about that. You'll get in soon enough. Anyway, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Any comments about what we've talked about. And yeah, just have a wonderful day. And if you celebrate, have a glorious Easter time with your family. And we'll be back next week. Okay. And yeah, just enjoy life. Okay. And rock on. Bye.